Well, now on to the final story. Today is World Mental Health Day, and new research suggests that UK workplaces are not doing enough to support their employees' mental health. 1 in 4 employees admit, according to this research, that they've experienced suicidal thoughts at work, and over a fifth also said that they do not have anyone at work they feel comfortable talking to if they were struggling with their mental health. Well, suicide prevention charity Ripple is calling on legislators and workplaces to make suicide prevention mandatory and entrenched in their existing health and safety policies, on par with the likes of fire safety. Well, joining us now to talk about this in more detail is Alice Hendy, founder of Ripple. Thank you, Alice, for joining us. Really appreciate it. So, firstly, just talk to us about this charity, Ripple, and why you formed it.
Yep, so on the 25th of November 2020, I lost my brother Josh to suicide. He was 21 years old, my only sibling. And soon after his death, I found that he was looking at some really harmful material on the internet, not only to do with how to end his life, but even provided with tips, encouragement and so on as to how to do so. So I've made it my mission since my brother's passing to stop this happening to any other families. And I've created a piece of technology called Ripple. It's a charity and it intercepts any harmful online searches conducted by anyone else out there that might be struggling, and instead signposts them to get some mental health support.
And this is really interesting, because there's been a lot of conversation about internet safety. There's a bill currently going through. What do you make of that bill? Because it has been widely criticised for basically chipping away at our freedoms. People say, well, look, the internet, people should be allowed to post what they want. So where do we draw that balance between that and actually saying this is harmful material and could actually lead to suicide?
There's a very fine line. The online safety bill itself, firstly, it's taking far too long to actually be finalised and published. Secondly, it doesn't go far enough with regards to holding social media companies and websites to account. At the moment, it's only really focusing on the big tech giants. And we saw that in the Molly Rose Russell case just a couple of weeks ago within the coroner's investigation. What we're looking for is for the online bill to go further and actually hold all websites and all forums and activities to account for any harmful material that they post online, because it is daily contributing towards people ending their life as a result.
Have we seen an uptick, an increase in suicides recently? Because there was a point during the pandemic where people were saying, look, we should be expecting massive rises in suicides, because as we know, people were forced to be alone and their situations were exacerbated by lockdown. What are the figures on that at the moment?
So we haven't seen predominantly an increase because of COVID, but saying that, there is some serious underreporting going on with suicides. And unfortunately, it doesn't detract from the fact that although people might not be ending their life, they are still very much struggling with their mental health, not just at home in the aftermath of COVID, but actually we've seen from the figures that you shared earlier in the workplace as well. This is a real problem in the workplace. 1 in 4 people have had suicidal thoughts at work.
How do you broach that conversation? I mean, especially for friends and family, because it's one thing people in the workplace being trained by professionals on how to spot the signs and how to approach that. But what I find from people who have experienced this personally through friends and families is they don't know how to start that conversation because perhaps it's not even something they've ever talked about before.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I think the best advice we can give here is, if you believe somebody is struggling with their mental health, please approach them about it. One of the biggest myths out there is that if you talk about the topic of suicide, you're putting the subject into their head and you're giving them ideas. That is not the case. Quite often, if somebody is having suicidal thoughts, by approaching them and asking them directly about it, they have huge relief. And it gives them that platform to then be able to share how they're feeling and open up. So I think approach them. Listen is probably the most important as well. Don't interrupt them. Don't judge them. listen to them very carefully. If they repeat themselves over and over again about it, keep listening to them. It's really, really important that they feel heard. And from a workplace perspective, please download Ripple, because this really is a silent intervention that might just be that trigger between somebody going down the route that my brother went down or actually getting that support.
So talk to us about the app. How exactly does it work? Because there will be lots of parents, especially after the Molly Russell case, who are desperate for some solution, some tech solution to stop this harmful content being viewed by their children.
Yeah, so Ripple is a piece of technology. It's a browser extension. It can be downloaded on Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, Firefox browsers. And once downloaded onto desktops and computers, it means that if somebody was to then conduct an online search relating to the topic of self-harm or suicide, Ripple would intercept that search and instead provide that person with a message of hope, firstly, that things would get better, and signpost them to a whole range of different mental health resources that are out there that they can access both now and in the longer term. It's not just the Samaritans that exist, they do some great work, but it's also the likes of the text service provided by Shout, the web chat facility provided by Calm, apps you can download like the Hub of Hope. It gives people more of a choice of how they can get mental health support in a way that suits them.
And do these sorts of things not exist with the big... this seems like something that should already built into some of these apps and some of these web browsers anyway, and it's not? Is that the case?
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Ripple should be default on everybody's computers. I could go to my local phone shop now and purchase a new mobile phone, and it will automatically come with Instagram on it.
Yeah.
Why do things like this not already come with this filtering to protect our young people and indeed adults from these harmful pieces of material that continuously are being posted? Well,
look, you're doing fantastic work. Ripple sounds incredible, and I'd obviously encourage people to look it up, see if it's the right thing for you. It sounds like you've been doing incredible work and saving lots of lives as well. Alice, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alice Hendy there. She is the founder of that app, Ripple. Well, keep your thoughts coming into us. I am here for another hour and we'll be going to your views